let's discuss a very important topic for the business analyst. And I am 100% sure you should get at least one question from this slide for your upcoming interviews. So if you prepare this topic very well, it is enterprise analysis. So you will be able to give the one question answer of the interview. They may be asked two questions, three questions from these slides. So it's a very, very important topic and very hard topic for the business analyst role. So I will explain you in detail how to do the enterprise analysis, what techniques we are using to doing the enterprise analysis, and what are the importance of that each techniques. So let's move one by one and understand in details the enterprise analysis. And it's a very, very important topic for the business analyst role. Let's move further. So introduction. What is the enterprise analysis, guys? So let's first discuss the definition of enterprise analysis. The enterprise analysis is the set of business analysis activities performed to understand the need of enterprise as a whole in the context of strategy and tactics objective. So we will doing enterprise analysis to meet the objective of the business. We do the analysis to identify if that the objective of business, so whatever techniques or method we are going to follow, is that satisfy, or from that technique is we achieve the objective or goal, is that feasible or not feasible, is there risks from that process or methodology. So all these things we do in the enterprise analysis. It's the initial phase. We can say the enterprise analysis is the initial phase before we are going to requirement gathering, requirement analysis thing, and it's a very important. So then the purpose of the enterprise analysis. So the first one, to identify the new business opportunities in the market, define the business needs and recommend the solution that deliver value to the stakeholder. It's important. If there is n number of opportunity in the market, so we have the resources or we have the technologies, is that feasible or not feasible to do that new opportunities in the business, or that is meets the business goal, business objective, is that or the core business or not. And then if that is okay, then we will provide solution to the businesses and the stakeholder to get deliver value from them, how you should do that thing, and what are the techniques and what are the outputs you will get from that after doing that business. So that all things we will do in an enterprise analysis. While we are doing that thing, before that we do the analysis, and that analysis we will call as the enterprise analysis. Let's third one is the scope of the enterprise analysis. So broader the project level analysis focus on the entire organization or significant part of it. So we should consider if what are the business objective or the business need or the business problem. So on that basis we will define what are the scope of the solution or the objective. We are defining what are the outscope functionality, and we will make sure in box the things to do the analysis or to upgrade the business. So the key questions, well, while we are doing the enterprise analysis, are these tools. So are we doing the right things? It's whatever things we are doing, so we should ask selves, so is that things is right or wrong? If they are the wrong, so what we are where we are making the false or the negative things that are not good impacted. And before that we should also ask that, are we doing things right? Is it right or wrong? So that the kind of the question if we get, so then we will do the enterprise analysis. So let's move on the next slide, guys. So importance of enterprise analysis. So strategic alignment is first important point. So it ensure the project and initiation align with the organizational goal and vision. Enterprise analysis will help us. We will doing the strategy or the gap analysis, short analysis, or the risk management things, to consider the organizational goal and the visions in mind, and then defines the strategy to alignment with the goals and objective. Then the risk mitigation, identify the potential risks and challenges at the early stage. Yeah, definitely. The risk analysis is the technique we use to we will do the identify the potential risks. while we are doing the business or while we are increasing the business, and we know that we will success in that, but before that we should do the risk analysis technique and identify what are the potential risks, and then provide the solution for all these risks before we are investing the huge amount on that project, and challenges at the early stage, how to tackle that challenge, how to mitigate that challenge, and what are the course of action if such challenges are occurs. Then the opportunity identification, it's an also very important thing. We should identify with the help of the enterprise analysis where the gap, where we will do or the product or the software or the output, so that can fulfill the market gap. Okay, and there we have the opportunity to crack that entire market, so uncover new market, product, process improvement. If we have the currently process, okay, and that's not the enhance the business, or if we want to upgrade the business, so that process is not sufficient, that technology is not sufficient to upgrade the business, so we will need to upgrade the our improvement to done in the process, so that is the opportunity identification. Then resource optimization, yeah, we have the n numbers of resource, that's why we have machine, man, uh, process, okay, material, okay, all these things we have, but we need to utilize that all the resource is the optimum way and take the maximum profit them, so it helps the prioritize the investment and allocate the resource effectively and the most appropriate way. Okay, so it will be most enhanced technique to use in the resource optimization, and then enhance the decision making. So the enterprise analysis will help the business or the development team to make the accurate decision. So to do the gap analysis, SWOT analysis, or to do the PERT technique. Okay, to draw the fishbone diagram, 5W1H technique, or to do the 5Y technique, so that helps. 5Y techniques, that helps to to enhance the decision making, and what are the optimum decision they should take from using the enterprise analysis technique. And then the value realization, so focus on delivery and sustainable business values, so they will realize that how much the value of that business, how much profit we make if that business is goes successfully, or if any mitigation is occur or any risks is occur, then what are the mitigation technique we should use in that case. So let's move on the next slide. So then the key activities in enterprise analysis. I'll explain you each activity in detail, guys, and give you the the also explain in the upcoming slide. That's all things in detail. First one is a strategic analysis. To in strategic analysis, we will do understand the current state and define the future state. Its strategy analysis is nothing but the gap analysis, where we can understand the all the current state, how the currently system should work, and what are the improvements we need to do, what are the to be process, how the system should work, how the process will work in the future. So that things we will do in the strategy analysis. And then the capability analysis, it's also most important thing. So it is not the business has capability to do that thing, or if we think we will the woman will fly in the air without any support, it's not capability of human. So that's kind of the capability of enterprise also we need to do in analysis. So assessing the organizational strength, weakness, where the strong point of organization, and then define the strategies to do the next performance things. Then the business architecture. So in business architecture, structuring the enterprise for formal performance, how the business will look like, how they to draw the wireframes, prototype, or the chart, how what part of the market that business should cover, what are the target customers. So that's the business architecture we should have. Then feasibility study, guys, it is also the most important thing. So if we are doing the enterprise analysis, or if we are building some projects or the product, or if we are want to make new organization, so we need to do the feasibility study. Is that feasible or not? Evaluation and viability, evaluating the viability of the proposed solution, is that feasible or not. Okay, then the risk management, identify the planning for the potential issues, what we are planning for and how to eliminate, and how what are the course of action after that the risks will happen. So that's entire thing we will do in the risk management. And the performance and the measurement, we will defining how the success will be measured, what are the tools or the metrics we will use of the success. So that's we will do in the performance analysis. And it is also the most important part of enterprise analysis. If we are invest some amount in the project, so we need always the higher return than the risk free return or the market return. So that's also the part of the performance measurement techniques. So let's discuss each key activity in enterprise analysis in detail and detail way. Okay, I'll give you the detail. So first one is a strategy analysis. So in strategy analysis, there is the current state analysis we will do. We will do the future state analysis, and the gap analysis is the difference between both of them. And then we will give the solution for how the system should work. So let's discuss on the current state analysis. So in current state analysis, we will understanding the existing business process, how the currently business will work, what are the techniques that current process will work, what are the users of current process, what are the operation activities in current process, system, organizational structure, and the tools we will use for the current state is a short analysis, pastel analysis, political, economical, social, technical, legal, and environmental. That's the long form of the pastel analysis. Then the Porter's five forces model we use the that's the technique to do the current state analysis. And then we will do for the state future state definitions or the future things, how the system should, that techniques or that tools will help us, how the to be process and what are the gaps in the current process. So then we are articulating the desired future state of enterprise, how that the future process or the state or the business structure should look like, what are the gaps we are going to fill, so and how they we are going to pull. These all things we will complete in the future state parts. And then the tool we will use for the to be process is the vision statement, goal setting, road mapping. So all these tools we will use for this. And the gap analysis, it is the gap analysis a method or the technique or the way to identify the difference between the current state and the future state. So it will we do what are the difference between. So we will do what the system are currently and what system is the to be. So we will draw the chart diagram, so and explain each point and how that point is in the current system working and how that point is working in the to be system, what new parameter it will take, what are the previous parameter, and their detailed description we should write in that the chart of gap. Let's discuss on the capability analysis. It is also most important part, guys, and it's you should know how to do the capability analysis. Is that business is capable to do that things? Okay, so before investing the amount and to moving the further part, so assessing the organizational ability to perform the specific activity and achieve a certain outcomes, is that the goal of that organization, and is that ability to to perform the certain activities. So that's the entire analysis we will do in the capability analysis. And then the types of capability analysis, there are the different types of capability analysis, like a business capability, organizational capability, or the technical capability. Is that business is what the business does, is that business is capable to do that activities, or is that business the organizational capability, that organization's ability, people, skill, culture are suitable to do that activities, is that feasible for them. So the technical capability, system, infrastructure, data, the technology, all these things are capable with the current organizations to capable in entering into the new business. Is that thing is okay, then they will move the further stage, or not, then they will work on that the things like business capability, organizational capability, technical capability. They improve their the business process, business structure, or the business team. Then they add new employees to work on the new technology. They have the already experience to work on the technique or the enhancement, the skill set we have. They provide the trainings and they improve the culture of organization. then they add new technologies, if they are want to attract some new businesses, so that's thing they will made, and that's the improve their capability. Then the purpose of capability, yeah, it's the most important, to identify the areas of improvement, for improvement, where we are lacking, why we are not doing increasing over the business. So that's help us there for the capability analysis, investment and de-investment techniques. So all these things there to to improve the capability analysis, and they analyze the capability of the ability to perform the specific activities of the organization. And methodology, the capability mapping and the maturity models, the methodology used why for the capabilities. So let's move on the next slide. That is a business architecture. So business architecture is a blueprint of enterprise that provide a common understanding of the organization, and it and is used to align the strategic objective and tactical demands. So it's the also the one of the important thing, it is a blueprint of enterprise, and that provide the common understanding for all the stakeholder, or the all the organizational level, or the all the investor, to align with the strategic objective and tactical demand, and that help us the how that business ecosystem will work, what that business is involved. And then discuss on the key components of the business architecture. First one is a business process architecture, organizational structure, information architecture, and the technology architecture. These are different the architecture that contain in the business architecture. So how the work flows work in the business architecture, how the process will follow by the business, the roles and responsibilities and department contained in that organization. So how the roles and responsibilities of each individuals, how they work on their responsibilities, what are the departments, and what activities done by that department, is they are fulfilling all the needs or not. So that's all things done by the organizational structure level. And then information architecture, what are the data, which database they use, what is their system, what is the integration, which technology they are using, what the technology they need to enhance to improve their business. So all these the level study we will do in a business architecture level. And the technology architecture, understand the infrastructure, improve, identify the key weakness of the current infrastructure, and to adopt the new technologies, identify the gaps in the current technology. So that's the technology architecture, and benefits to improve the efficiency, better decision making, and the clear communication. So that's next one is the most important, is a feasibility study. Okay, so it's the most important. We done all the previous slide data analysis, we will do the we will other and do the capability analysis, business architecture. But the idea or the objective, that is not feasible, that is not practically evaluate the practicality and viability. That's not the things which are we are not able to do, in the perspective of technical feasibility, economic feasibility, operational feasibility, schedule feasibility, or legal or regulatory feasibility. That's all the feasibilities are not possible. So that is the meaningless. So then the feasibility is also one of the most important enterprise analysis techniques to evaluate the practicality and viability of the proposed solution to initiate. And then in the technical feasibility, can we build the existing and new technology, and can we do that. And then we will do the economic feasibility, it is a cost effective, what is the return on investment, how much cost it will take, how much the return we are generating from after the investing in that project, and after investing the times on that project. So we will do in the economic feasibility. Operational feasibility, can that be done in the operational way, can that organization operate the solutions, can that give the the better experience to the users. So then the schedule, can it be implemented within the required time frame. So we will do that thing also. If they need a more time or the less time, the budgeting that help us, the feasibility study will help the part of budgeting. So while we are doing the budgeting things though, so that in that case we will consider the feasibilities part. So legal regulatory response, feasibility, does it comply with laws and regulations, and the outcome is go or no go decision. So once you do the feasibility study in accurate way, so that will help you to with go with that project or not go with that project. So that's the importance of feasibility study. So let's move on the one of the most important part, that is the risk management. So guys, it's the most important. If all the things which I mentioned in the above slide are there, but there is a huge risk. So you maybe to to do the identify or the accept the risks, mitigate the risks, or transfer the risks, or avoid the risks. So you should use that techniques. So the risk management is the process of identifying, assessing, and controlling the threats to the organizational capital and the earnings. The risk management is a technique that is the part that that will not make you to achieve your goals objective, and that not make you to solve the business problem. So that's the first technique we use in the risk management is risk identification. Guys, there is the most important thing. So identify the risks, where the exact the problem is occurs, what could go wrong, where we are doing wrong. The market changes, technology failure, resource scarcity. So what are the risks? Identify that risk, and then you are able to provide the solution. So when we are doing the risk management, so first and most important thing is the identify the actual risks, critical risks in the system, and then risk analysis. Then we will do how it is likely, what are the impact of that risk in the system, and how it's the impact, how it will be affect the current process, how it will be affect the businesses. Then risk response planning. So then we will do the strategy, mitigation strategy. We will accept the risk, we will transfer the risk using different technique, and then we will avoid the risk. So what is we are the what are the suitable things for that risk. So for the same time we will keep with us with the risk, so we know that kind of risk is there, but we move forward. But if we are not able to forward, then we transfer that risk to the certain factors or certain things, so they will work on that, and reduce the risk, and then accept the risk. And then we will risk monitoring to always we are look on the risks, and identify the risks and new ones, the risks which are occurs in the system. So that should be there. And importance, proactive proactive approach to minimize and negative impact of the risk. So that's the important of the risk management technique, and most of the interviewer will definitely ask the question on the risks. So let's move on. The next topic is the performance measurement, and it is the last one technique. Once that is okay, then we will do the development, requirement gathering, and then requirement illustration, and all things are happening. So it is the performance. To the performance measurement is help us to define how the success of strategy, initiating, and solution will be evaluated. So how, while we are investing the amount, we are investing the resource, we are investing the technology, we are investing the times, we face all these things. So once we are completing with the out of the project or the product output, so how there the performance in the market, and how much the return on investment we are generating from that investment. So that all things we will do in the performance measurement. There we have the different kinds of metrics that help us, is that the technology or the solution which we are implementing in the system are the optimum or not optimum. If is that is optimum, then we will move for the further process. Okay. Then the key performance indicator. What are the key performance indicator for the performance measurement? The quantifiable metrics that reflect the critical success of the factors. An example, we will use the revenue growth, how much the customer are get satisfied, what are the things we are going implement in the system, so that will be increase the customer satisfaction rate, operational efficiency, there is a bug free operation system, and the market share, how much the market share we are going to achieve, and what are the techniques we should use. Then the baseline, establish the current performance level for the comparison. Yes, obviously we should define the baseline. So the performance matrix valuation will always beyond the baseline, should not be the baseline. So that is also there. Then we will setting the target. How much target we are going to measure. If we achieve, then we are achieve that target, or then we are the 100%, performance very well, less than the less than 100%, or we will go above the the target. So we are excellently performance, and define the desired picture performance level, and reporting, regulatory monitoring, and communication performance. So that's all these things is there in the performance matrix. So let's move on the next slide. Next slide is the tools and technique for the business analyst to do the enterprise analysis. Guys, it's also one of the most important thing. You should understand all the tools and techniques. So there the interviewer will maybe ask one of the tools or technique questions in your interview. So let's discuss on the strategic planning and tools. So first one is a SWOT analysis, pastel analysis, and the balance scorecard. So in SWOT analysis, we will do analysis on the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. So strength and weakness are the internal factor, opportunity and threat are the external factor. We will do the pastel analysis like the political, economical, social, technical, legal, environmental factors, how they are affecting on the enterprise. Then the balance scorecard we will use. Then the modeling tools. So we will model all the tools. We will draw the process flow diagram, use case diagram. We draw the ERD diagram. We draw the UML diagrams. We use the PMPL techniques, data models. We will do the data models, how the data should look like. So all these modeling we will do. We will draw the wireframes, prototype to understand user very well how the business should work, and then the analysis on techniques. So we will use to analysis technique like root cause analysis, 5Y technique, benchmarking technique, 5W1H analysis technique. So all these techniques we will use in the enterprise analysis thing. And then we will do the requirement gathering technique or the requirement illustration technique, where we use the things like questionnaire, chat session, interview, brainstorming session, survey, workshop, document analysis, meetings, team meetings, group discussions. So that's all the techniques we will use on the enterprise analysis. And we will do the documentation. We will do the business requirement document, functional requirement document, change request document. We will do the wireframes and prototype document, how models related document. We will do the requirement management software collaboration platform. All these things we will use in the documentation tools or the that tool we use. And the communication skill, business analyst should have the great communication skills. He should be a great listener. So presentation to the the functions or features to the users, understand their role, negotiation, facilitation with all the team. So that thing is there for the business analyst. Let's move on the next slide. So next one is a challenge and the best practices that followed by the business analyst. So in challenges dealing, the challenges are the business analyst while doing the enterprise analysis are dealing with the ambiguity and uncertainty. There is we cannot predict what will be happen in the future. So the business analyst should always ready to uncertain event, and they have the the techniques or the things if that risk is happen, then how they are tackle that risk. Then gaining the stakeholder buy-in and an alignment, managing the conflict priorities. So there are the a number of requirement, and from that requirement you should the prioritize the requirement with using the high requirement are the most important or the more most urgent or the most required. So that should be high priority. Then lack of clear strategic directions, and then the resistance to change. So if we have to build the wireframes prototype, draw the diagrams, we write down the codes, we are done the testing, and while deployment time the client will come us and they want some changes. So it will be the very very the practically and it time consuming. So that's resistance to change. So one of the challenge in enterprise analysis, if we do very well enterprise analysis, so we can mitigate such kind of situation. Then the best practices start with the clear understanding of the business problem. First of while we doing and working on the some documentation on things, so business analyst should understand the business problem and what are the solution we are going to provide the business to mitigate the business problem. And then engage with stakeholder early and continuous way, explain them the documents or wireframes or prototype, and explain them the what they take the UOD meeting or the weekly meeting with the clients and update them the progress and of the project. So that thing is there. Then use the structure approach, appropriate way to to handle the clients and give them the best solutions their problems. Be adaptive and iterative with always the business analyst should adopt the new technologies and new environment, and he should be part of the always adaptive. He should be a quick learner. He should do that things and iterative focus on the delivery and measurables, and continuously refine the skills, continuously enhance the skills. Always understand the domain very well. It may be the healthcare domain, for investment banking domain, finance domain. BFSI domain, insurance domain, or the retail domain, wholesale domain. So that's the business analyst should have the clear cut understanding, the entertainment domain. So that thing is there. Then the conclusion from all these slides. Guys, it is the most important videos I'll share you. If you do the enterprise analysis very well, then you maybe the crack the interview, or there the high chances to get the selected for that profile. So enterprise analysis is a crucial discipline of business analyst to derive the strategy value, and it provides the foundation of information, decision making, and successful organization changes. By understanding the enterprise holistic, and BA can ensure the solution align with the strategic goal and deliver the tactical benefits. Continuous learning adaptation are key and exciting in this domain, and it should be continuously learning, understand the process and system. That's the most important, guys. Let's the slides is over, and thanks for attending the videos. It will motivate if you like and subscribe my channel. If you face any challenges, if anything you are not going to understand, so please comment on the video. I'll be there for help you. Thanks guys for attending the seminars. Thanks.